think this story gonna be a good one, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay clicked on. I think all my story times are good, but I think this one is gonna be good, and I'm gonna do my darn best to tell it as best as I could. But if this y'all first time clicking on my channel, oh yeah, y'all might see me in all kind of locations in my apartment, y'all, because my original storytelling spot is under construction, girl. You see this leaf hanging? It's all over the place. I am currently sitting on the floor in my underwear, making it do what it do for y'all because I got to. Anyways, I'm Yolanda. Thank you for clicking on my channel. I'm a little crazy. I know it. I tell story times. You're going to love it here. Don't be a silent watcher. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Hit y'all notification bells to keep up with me because I be a little bit everywhere, child. If you already a part of my crew, you know how I am. You know what time it is. It's time for another story time, and enough of the rambling, y'all. Let's just go ahead and get into the story. I'm gonna take this a little back for y'all. Most of y'all know I'm 31, but I'm gonna take a little back for y'all to middle school days. Yep. And I know some of my friends gonna tune in. A lot of my classmates who follow me, y'all probably gonna come across this video, and I'm gonna just tell you now, I ain't changing his name. I ain't changing his name. I'm keeping his name the same, right? So I'm gonna take y'all back a little bit. We're gonna go back to middle school. We're gonna go back to 2006, right? I was in 6th grade. 6th grade, middle school, freshman, what a time to be alive, y'all. I think middle school was better than high school for me. I went to Brownsville Middle School. Y'all know Falcons out there, fellow Falcons. Brownsville Middle was in the heart of Brown Sub. It's a hood in Miami. It's a bad area. Well, it's calmed down now, but back then it was lit, y'all. It was real lit. I think middle school was lit, more fun than high school, y'all. It was a whole thing. Anyway, I had a best friend. She was Spanish. I'm going to use her real name. Her name was Celia. I known Celia since 3rd grade all the way to high school. That was my girl. When you seen me, you seen her. When you seen her, you seen me. It was one point that they thought we were gay. We had people ask us, were we girlfriends because we was together so much. That was my girl, y'all. We was together. So 6th grade, we babies, we're youngins, we're the freshmen of the middle school. It's very fun being freshmen actually because everybody's older than you. You get to learn new things. You just look up to different classmates, just join different sports. My 6th grade year was packed with like advanced classes, me and her. Very smart girl. I had a lot of AP classes. I had a lot of electives. And y'all can tell by how I look, I had PE, physical education, and let's just say that was not my favorite. I really did not like physical education. For one, we had to run laps. Two, it was in the middle of the day. Like, come on, like I have to go to PE. We didn't take showers, so be sweating for an hour, running laps, playing basketball, playing our little games, and then we have to go back to class around teachers and other friends, smelling a little rank, a little musty. I really did not enjoy PE class. But we're gonna talk about PE specifically, right? So 6th grade, I had PE. Me and my best friend was together all the time. Now my best friend, chill on her, she had flunked a year, right? She was a year or two older than I was, but we was in the same grade. And so she was older than me, but we were still youngins. But PE, I'm gonna say his damn name, Coach Nibs. Coach Nibs was the PE coach for Brownsville when I got there. He was a tall guy, maybe 6'2". He was kind of chubby, dark skinned. He was kind of older, had a little salt and pepper going on his face. And, my 6th grade year, me and Celia, he didn't really bother us because we was the youngins. In PE class, we had a thing called dressing out. Dressing out, you would have to wear your school shirt. You have to wear your school basketball shorts. And that's what we had to wear during PE, I guess, so that your regular clothes did not get sweated out. But in 6th grade, we didn't have the dress out because we were freshmen. It wasn't until you was in 7th, 8th grade you got the uniform. So I really did not enjoy PE because I was sweaty and I had to run laps. I didn't like that. Neither did my friend Celia. So me and her would just be huddled up in PE a lot. Now, because we were so young, a lot of things went over our head. Like, we would hear the other girls talk about Coach Nibs. Like, they would say things, just the word on the PE field that he was a little creepy. They would say, like one girl would be like, he would bring her like lunch all the time. It would just be like little things we would hear, but we just thought that these girls were just being grown. You know, me and my friend, we're young. Um, Again, a lot of that stuff went over our head when we would hear it. And, you know, we had a friend, and I'm gonna name her a fake name in this story time. I'm gonna name her Sophia. Sophia had this, she was older than us. She was in the seventh grade. She had this thing where she would suck on her finger, y'all. She would do this. She would suck on her finger, and she did that from when we was in elementary to high school. She would sit there and she would suck on her finger. Sophia, he like he would like target her a lot. He would like watch her a lot, like Coach Nibs. And again, y'all, me and my friend, we're young. I don't know. We're in sixth grade, and we just not paying attention to the behavior of this guy. We just really was not catching on to a lot of things. So that was our sixth grade year. We was there in PE with this Coach Nibs guy. We wasn't dressing out at this point. We were hearing things about him, but you know, like I said, we were young ladies. Well, we were girls essentially, and we would hear stuff, but we didn't take into account of the reality of what was really going on behind closed doors. That was pretty much the dynamic of sixth grade year for us. Just there, living life, not really paying attention. Now we in seventh grade, y'all. Me and Celia. The girl Sophia is in our eighth grade, and you know, a lot of us are still in it. We know each other, friends, but you in the same school. But a lot of them have not graduated to high school. Me and Celia is in our seventh grade, and when I told you with seventh grade, we would now have to dress out. But anyway, we ain't getting to that part yet. So now we're in seventh grade, and a year can make a difference in maturity, believe it or not. It's like a year over the summer, you can become a young lady, literally. Like, for example, now we're in the seventh grade, and it's the beginning of the school year, and we're all in the locker room. But I'm not talking about the other classes. I'm specifically focusing on PE, right? So now it's seventh grade and it's the beginning of the school year, and we're all inside of the locker room. We had some new showers inside of the locker, and Coach Nibs, during the class, he would give everybody their uniforms, and he showed us the new locker room. So he told all the girls to come to the back so that we could all see the showers, how they work, just the protocol or whatever. So we're all back there. He do his thing, tell us what's what. It's like me, Celia, and a few other girls in the back left behind with him. So Celia see this pad that was in like a menstrual pad. It was balled up, disgusting, right? In the corner of the locker room in the shower. So she pulled Coach Nibs to the side, and she's like, Coach Nibs, like, ugh, like look at this pad, like these girls, she's talking like, oh, these girls nasty, it's a trash right there. Like they could have put it in the trash or whatever. So Coach Nibs walks up and he literally grabs the pad with his hand. And he's like, oh, I bet I know who this is. I bet I know who this is. Just last week, I caught her back here naked changing clothes. And so, you know, I'm I told you a year can bring on a lot of maturity. I'm not saying nothing, but when he said that, my friend Solia, like I told y'all, she was a year or two older than me, so she was more mature than I was. So when Coach Nib said that, she was like, well, why you didn't report her to the office? He was like, oh, I did report her to the office. I don't know what ever happened about that. She was back here changing clothes. I walked up on her, and us girls, we just, okay, you said you told the office on her, but at the same time, my friend Celia wouldn't let it go because you talking about you caught her naked back here in the shower, and how come we didn't hear about it? Like, which friend is this? We would have heard about this. This is Brownsville. Nothing goes unheard at this school. So we did think that was a little weird. Like, how you, whatever, we whatever. And throughout all of this, y'all, again, we would hear things like with the older girls talking about how he's the creep. Me, myself, like with the girl Sophia, specifically Sophia, because she used to suck her finger a lot. It was weird that she was a big age like that, still sucking her finger. But one time I remember it was like raining and storming. Y'all know how Miami is. It was like hurricane season. It was raining and storming. It was dark outside. The trees were swinging. Like, we just could not be outside this day to do any physical activity. It was totally impossible. But PE must still go on. So that locker room, all of us had to be in a locker room. We put the desk inside, we make sure everybody's safe or whatever. I remember me and Celia sitting together. That's my girl. We always together. And in the class was Sophia. Sophia was like I want to say Sophia was like a troubled girl. And I'm just going to be quite honest. She kind of was like a troubled girl. She was kind of fast. She would skip school quite often. She got in a lot of fights. I remember she used to get us suspended a lot. So she would sit in the back row quite often because she would like to put her head down and go to sleep when she wasn't sucking her finger. But this day she was up and alert and she had her finger in her mouth. She was sucking on it. And I just kept peeping Mr. Nibbs, like staring at her, I don't know. I just kept peeping it. Every time I look at him, he'd be looking at her with her finger in her mouth. I just thought it was weird. At first, I was thinking like, okay, maybe he gonna tell her get her finger out of her mouth. She too big. But he was looking at her in a way of a lustful way. So I would tell Celia, she was older than me, so Celia was just like, he's nasty, yeah, he a creep, you feel what I'm saying? He just kept looking at Sophia, Time is going on, we got like 20 more minutes in the class. She's still sucking on her finger, y'all. Sophia used to suck on her finger so bad, it used to turn raw. He's still looking at Sophia. Everybody's talking, we engaging in a conversation in the class, and out of nowhere, Coach Nibbs gonna tell this girl, why you keep sucking on your finger? You must like sucking on things, huh? We are middle school girls. Why would you say that to her? And when he said that, everybody got quiet and started looking at him. Even the boys, everybody was like, huh? You like sucking on, like, why would you say that to her? She's in 7th, 8th grade. Why would you say that to her? You like sucking on things. I could see you say, I don't know. He could have said that in a better way. It made everybody uncomfortable. Like, why would you say that to her? She got quiet and it was kind of embarrassing. And she was like, mind your business. And she started cussing him out. But why would you say that to her? You like to suck your finger so much, you like sucking on things. Mind you, this man have salt and pepper hair and he's older, like pushing 40, 50. Why would you say that to her? That was so weird. And then after that day, it just was like, we was on high alert. Now we're just getting more alert of this guy. Right? And I hate to just keep speeding it up so much. I'm just speeding it up, but I just have to. So now we're going to just fast forward to 8th grade, right? 8th grade comes, and Sophia, like I said, she was older than us. So Sophia is now in high school, and Celia and I is in 8th grade, and another summer has passed by, and yes, we're now more mature. We're now more aware of what's going on and whatnot. And this was only, I don't know if this for every school, but we had one PE coach. Coach Nibbs, he's our PE teacher once again. So this year it's the same song, y'all. And let me tell you something. I just watched this documentary. Not a documentary. You know how these body camera videos is going viral, or people interrogations. Y'all know how the internet is now. I just watched this video of this high school basketball, girl football coach. Yeah, it was a flag football coach. And he got busted for sexually touching these teenage girls at his school. He had been doing it for years, and one of the other coaches ratted him out because one of the signs was all of the girls would be under him all the time. He would buy them lunch all the time. Why are you taking them to trips to Orlando? She's 15, 16 years old. They would be in the locker room alone a lot. And one of the coaches rung the alarm, because something is fishy going on. And that's how he got caught up. And yeah, he ended up going to prison because he was hunching them young girls. You know what I'm saying? And this was the same tune with Coach Nibbs. All these years from 6th grade to 7th grade, and now we're in 8th grade, he's been the talk of the school. And if any one of my classmates on here watching it, y'all comment down below and back your girl up. In middle school, we kind of knew something inappropriate was going on, but how are we? What can we do? If it's not really going on with me, it's like, what can I say? I can't speak out on assumptions, but it was the same thing with Coach Nibbs. Like, he was the skipping spot. When you wanted to skip class, you would just go to his the locker room and be with him all day. It was the same signs. He would have a group of girls in his locker room around him all the time. It was very weird. Like, we used to sit outside under the pavilion, and he would just have like 2, 3, 4 girls under him all the time. Now, mind you, in middle school, we had good lunch. We sure did. We used to have, come on now, y'all, back me up in the comments. We used to have them big old chocolate chip cookies. Y'all remember them cookies? The chocolate chip cookies. We used to have the peanut butter cookies. We used to buy all kind of hot sausages and juice and snacks. Lunch wasn't scarce at Brownsville. We was healthy. We was healthy and hefty at Brownsville. We was in the middle of the hood, but I guarantee you not one of us was skinty. Not one of our ribs was showing in this school. They fed us really good at this school. It was a lot of substitute teachers that was real cool. They used to buy lunch or buy lunch or whatever, but why is Coach Nibbs buying these specific group of girls McDonald's and Snappers and Hooks and Reels and fucking Burger King every day? The school fed us very good. Very good. Very good. Why are you buying outside food for these girls every single day? That was another sign. Like I said, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, we all seen it happening. One time I was in class and we had a teacher named Miss Taylor. Yes, I'm going to say her name, Miss Taylor. She was in there talking to another teacher. She was a down-to-earth teacher, black teacher. She was young. She wasn't about the bullshit. She told you how she felt. We were in her class one day, and we can overhear her talking to the other teacher about Coach Nibbs and how she went to the locker room because she needed to talk to him about one of the little football player boys or whatever. And when she walked inside of the locker room, it was 2 of the little girls in there, just like, I don't want to say on their hands and knees or whatever, because I'm sure she would have like rose hell and the police would have got involved. But how she was describing the situation when she went inside the office, it was 2 little girls in there that was just too close to Coach Nibbs and pretty much on his lap, and it was just too much, right? It was just, we seen this from the moment we got there. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. And what makes me so like, it don't make no sense. We always had a school police. We always had a school police. How come the police never got involved with all of this stuff? It was just always a thing that we knew about this guy, right? So let's keep the story going, child. Let's keep it going. So 8th grade, one day, me and Celia, we had to dress out. Had to put on our school uniform shirt and our basketball shorts. We just had to dress out for class. At this point, we would stare clear of Coach Nibbs because he would give us uncomfortable vibes, and sometimes he would stare at me. Now, in this story, I'm not making it about me. It's not about me, even though I've had encounters with him. He have never touched me. He have never, like, let's keep talking. So me and my friend Celia, we was in PE one day. I had on my shorts. And we were playing some sport. I forgot what we were playing. 4 squares or some shit where I had to bend over. Anyway, oops, I ripped my pants. I ripped my pants right in the middle, y'all. And they were a little too tight anyway. Let's be quite honest. There was a little snug. Your girl always had thick thighs. And my basketball shorts, I was a little thick in them. Let's just say there wasn't basketball shorts on me. They was a little tight. And they was a little cute. You feel what I'm saying? So when I bent over, they, you know what I'm saying? So I go to Coach Nibbs because he always have extra uniforms. Me and Celia, we go wobble to Coach Nibbs. I'm like, Coach Nibbs, like, my pants ripped in the middle. I need some more pants, you know what I'm saying? So he like, come on. Come in my office, let's get some pants. So we go walk in his office. Me and Celia talking. He come out with some pants, ask me what size. I'm like, in middle school, I was like, these are extra large. I might need a 1X now, you feel what I'm saying? So he was like, all right, put on the 1X. So he give me the pants. Me and Celia go off to the side. The bathroom was locked. Now, everybody was outside, physical activity. It was nobody in the locker room. So I go to the back showers, and so Celia was just going to cover me. Y'all feel me? So I didn't hear the door close. I didn't hear Coach Nibbs leave. So because I didn't hear the door close, I told Celia, girl, just stand in front of me. Let me just change my pants real quick. So I'm changing my pants, and me and her talking. I put them up. I'm like, oh, they fit. They're a little more loose than the other ones, but they still a little tight. I could probably do a 2X. A 2X would have did me like real big. It would have did me like comfortable. They would have looked like boy pants. That 1X was big, but it was still just a little tight. You feel me? So me and her talking about how I could use a bigger size. And like I said, he didn't leave. So when I mentioned that, I can hear him echo. The locker room empty, his voice kind of echoing. So he was like, well, you always had them juicy thighs. You got childbearing hips. I got what? He told me, y'all. He said I always had juicy thighs and I have childbearing hips. So when Celia heard that, she was like, "Why you in here? Like, she changed the clothes. Like, why you in here?" He was like, "I'm just letting you know if you need a bigger size. I'm just telling you, them things juicy now. Them things juicy." This man is almost 40 years old. It might sound funny. Now, let's say if I'm 20 and a 35-year-old, or if I'm 20 and a 27-year-old man said something like that, I'm gonna be like, "You like my thighs?" You feel me? That's more appropriate. But if I'm like 14. If I'm 14 years old, 13 years old, and you're like 45, why would you tell me I have childbearing hips, right? So I just go ahead and put my pants on, honey. Me and Saya go outside. I went home and I told my damn daddy. I told Pop, you damn right. I told Pop, I say, Pop, can you get me out of this class? For one, he have me run laps. I don't like that. And for two, when I was changing my pants the other day in the locker room with Celia, he told me I have juicy thighs and I have childbearing hips. Pop said, what the fuck? Oh, no. Pop went to Brownsville, right? So he went to the school. They was like, oh, no, it's almost at the end of the school year. We can't take her out of that class, but, we could just not let her dress out. Hell yeah. So Pop was like, I don't trust this guy. My daughter be telling me stories about this guy. I really want her to be out of this class. Y'all really need to investigate this guy. And she's not dressing out anymore. So I didn't have to change my clothes anymore after that day. He didn't even question me. I guess the office must be taught to him, put him to the side, whatever. But he did not bother me again. I'm not putting on no pants for you. You looking at my thighs. Like, what? I had a guidance counselor. And she was so down to earth. She was very cool. She would wake up early in the morning, and now those white apartments I told y'all I stayed in, I grew up in them. Them apartments are very old. She would wake up early in the morning, walk through the apartments, the guidance counselor with her bullhorn, and she would tell everybody, get up for school, get up, y'all, it's time for school. She was real cool, right? And because she was so cool, we became real close. So, Coach Nibs, he used to have like a small office inside of the office in the school. Besides like the locker room, he had an office right across the office from that guidance counselor that I was close to. So one day I'm about to graduate. Me and Celia, our class, we about to get ready to go to high school in a couple of months. So I'm in the guidance, whatever the fuck her name is, y'all. I'm high. I'm in her office, right? And I'm talking to her about high school stuff, which school I wanted to go to, because I did not want to go to no Western. Them bulls, y'all should know. Y'all don't know. Y'all, if y'all not from Miami, y'all wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But them bulls, fuck the bulls. I didn't want to go to Miami Northwestern, so I wanted to go to Jackson High School because they had a great business program. And we were talking about stuff like that because, I'm that girl, I'm smart. So I was, picking out my classes or whatever. And so we're in there talking, right? And like I say, Coach Nibs' office was right across from her. So we see Coach Nibs go into his office. And then like a few minutes later, like two little girls go into the office behind him. Now, the guidance counselor told me to like close her door halfway. And I told you she was real cool, young, down to earth. She would talk to us. And I told her what happened about the childbearing hip comment. And she was like, oh no. She was like, did you tell your parents? I said, yes. She was like, did your parents come out here? I said, yes. She was like, girl. She was like, I've been watching him for months. She was like, it's me and a lot of the assistant principal. Y'all, apparently, I got there in 2006. I was in 8th grade in 2008. Apparently, he had been investigated 4 years already prior. So he had been getting investigated. If it's 2008, goddamn it, y'all do the math. 2004, 2005, they had started investigating him for sexual relations with these underage girls, right? So she's telling me this. And I was like, nah. I was like, yeah, like we always see things like, these group of girls always under him. She was like, yes, every single day he's in the office, those girls in the office with him, like all day, just the whole class. And I've said something to him before, and she said, you would think that he would change his behavior, but she said he didn't change. So they've been investigating him for the past 4 years on this stuff. He have no clue. And I told Celia, of course, and I told my daddy, but I didn't go around the school telling nobody else because I want this to happen. You know what I'm saying? So now it's almost like to the ending of the school year. We're getting ready to graduate, y'all. We getting ready to graduate, go to high school. And the school get locked down. The school is locked down like a shooter type. Y'all ever been in school and a shooter around y'all? And they have to lock down the school and everything. You got to call your parents and all kind of shit. It was one of them kind of days. It was the helicopters around the school, child. And they had the dogs in the hallway sniffing. And the boys was nervous because they had weed and shit. And I was just like, what's going on? This was the hood. We was kind of used to like people with guns and stuff, but it was different, Anyway, word on the school grounds was they looking for some girl or whatever. They looking for somebody or whatever. So what happened was, y'all, I'm not even going to name her. We're just going to call her girl. She was in 8th grade. She was also a troubled young lady. She would also skip school. She was sexually active. She was lit from what I heard, She was one of those wild girls. Anyway, her mama was really, really worried about her, like terrified, because she hadn't heard from her that night before until that day. So apparently the girl did not go home that night, and she just came to school. Now the reason why the popo was surrounding the school and they handled the situation like this was because her mama couldn't find her anywhere. So her mama was like, yo, she's in school. She have to be somewhere in school. Like, let's check the school. Y'all, they found this girl with Coach Nibs in his locker room. They found this girl in Coach Nib's locker room. She didn't go home that night. She came to school that day, but she didn't go to none of her classes. So no teacher had seen her. She was ducked off in the locker room with Coach Nibs, y'all. Coach Nibs. They found her. So y'all can imagine how that went down when they found that Coach Nibs. I'm pretty sure they interrogated him, but guess what's so disappointing? He was not fired. He did not get fired. He did not go to jail. I guess he just was like, I was letting her skip inside my class. I don't know what he told the popo, y'all. I have no idea what he told the popo. But they found this girl in the locker room with him all day, and I have no idea what happened with that situation. There's nothing like a Jet 2 holiday. Now, I'm in high school. Me and Celia in high school, girl. We doing our bit one. I'm in a band dancing. She done dropped out and did her own thing. Child, love you, Celia. But anyway, we in high school, girl. And we in high school, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, girl, 12th grade, girl. Your girl, young lady now, we finna graduate high school, girl. You feel me? Now, I graduated in 2012. So, I done graduated, living life. Life goes on. Now it's 2017, right? I'll get on the news, and guess what? There's a Jet 2 holiday special for you. Listen, I see the news, and guess who I see on the big screen, y'all? Coach Nibs. Got his ass. I'm going to show y'all the little clip. I'm going to just put the little clip in here. Y'all can listen to it.
Former teacher's name is Wendell Nibs. In 2017, he was arrested for sexual battery relating to alleged acts against one victim. Now, new charges relating to 2 additional victims who were also students here at Brownsville Middle School. One of them was just an 8th grader at the time, the other a 6th grader. Additional charges for 53-year-old Wendell Nibs in 2 new cases. The former physical education teacher at Brownsville Middle School now facing charges of engaging in sex acts with a child, custodial interference, and false imprisonment.
The defendant had sexual relationships with students while they attended Brownsville Middle School.
Nibs was first arrested for sexual battery back in November 2017. Police say at least one incident involves sex inside a classroom at Brownsville Middle, as well as inappropriate contact, lewd comments, kissing, and graphic photos sent by Nibs. Nibs faces criminal charges relating to at least 3 alleged victims, but 5 ladies in total are accusing Nibs of misconduct and blaming the Miami-Dade School District for inaction. At a news conference in January, they said complaints about Nibs dated back decades.
Each and every time one of those allegations was made, the school board did a very cursory and superficial investigation into Wendell Nibs.
Nibs has been on house arrest for the past year, according to his attorney, without incident. That came to an end today.
I am going to hold him no bond, okay? Based on the preliminary findings, of course, subject to the Arthur hearing.
Now, couldn't y'all see that coming with a 10-foot pole? Y'all could see that coming from a mile away. Y'all couldn't see that coming? It was just a matter of time. What took so long? 2017, he was arrested for allegations of 9+ girls. Now, one of those girls was Sophia, y'all, the one who sucked her thumb. My friend, she was one of those girls who later came. If you just watched the clip, it said one of those girls was in high school when they finally told. One of those girls was Sophia, y'all. That's why I came out and told this story time, because I had experience with Coach Nibs. A couple of my friends who's watching this had experiences with Coach Nibs. Sophia had experiences with Coach Nibs, apparently. And yeah, so apparently her sucking her finger, I'm not blaming Sophia. I'm not blaming her at all. We were children. We were young girls. I am not blaming Sophia at all, at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. It is totally Coach Nibs' fault. He is a pervert, pedo, nasty man. It is totally his fault. He made that girl suck his stank weeder, and he was doing sexual relations with these girls. And if y'all watch that clip, he got sentenced to 8 years in prison. How dare the justice system for 9+ girls? 9+ girls, and he was doing this since 2004, 2005. I got to Brownsville in 2006, and he was looking at us. From 2006, 7, 8, up until I graduated to high school, this man told me I had juicy childbearing hips. Why did he get 8 years in prison? That means when he was arrested in 2007, if you watch the clip, he got sentenced in 2020 to 8 years. That means he only got 3 years. 3 years left. That's it. That's it. That's all. So he finna get out in 3 years. He got to be on a sexual predator list, but that ain't nothing. He finna be out in 3 years for messing with my friends and have. The justice system failed us. Failed us. I just had to tell this story, y'all. I just had to tell this story. I had to tell this story because it grinded my gears. I was just, going through stuff, and I seen his picture pop up, and I just got memories of this guy. Like, and when I told my dad, he was just like, nah, I can't believe. Yes, believe it. Like, and again, y'all, we were young babies. We were girls. Like, I didn't pay that shit no attention when I was in 6th grade of him staring at Sophia and stuff and all that stuff until we got older. Like, oh my God, 8 years, that's it? Child, I think that's gonna be the end of this story time. It's not that long, but and it's probably other stuff I could think about. Hold on. It's probably other stuff I could think about that I just missing over right now, because it's just the essence of somebody just being around that coach every single day and just noticing stuff like with the pad, talking about he's seeing a girl naked. Why you didn't report it? Why didn't you? Buying stuff. So now, it was a guy in high school like that too. It was a counselor like that in high school. He just never got caught. But if one of my classmates watching who went to high school with me, Mr. Bigelow, I'm going to say his name. He was handsome as hell. He was fine. Mr. Bigelow was another man like that. He used to have them girls in his office all the time, all kind of hours, skipping with him, buying them food. Those are signs of them adults mess with those little girls. He was fine, so them little hot ass girls used to be following around him and stuff like that. He just never got caught up and ended up on TV, y'all. I'm done talking because I got to open this door and let some people in. But y'all, if y'all enjoyed this story time, if y'all found it interesting, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Go ahead and drag Coach Nibs down, all his fat, drag him in the comments and stuff like that. Just do all that good stuff. Like my video, run it up, because that's going to push me out and help me grow. I really appreciate all of y'all for walking with me, watching me. Y'all love me and I love y'all back. Trust me. Go ahead, do all that good stuff. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.